The Once Human Way of Winter scenario is just a couple of days away, and they actually just dropped a massive set of patch notes for this upcoming scenario. There's a whole lot that they talk about here, and I'm going to break it down as quickly as possible by skipping over some of the filler content, such as the description of the scenario and whatnot. But let's go ahead and start off with the fact that we're jumping into a new region here. This region's called Arkham, and it's going to grant us access to the Onyx Tundra, Venya Fjord, and Ember Strand. There are 60 riddle spots inside of Arkham. They say that the region of Arkham contains 60 riddle spots in the following 7 types, being the Frozen Loot Crate, the Ray Tracer, the Tiny Bear Balloon, Doll Consortium, the Hoarder Rat, the Greedy Rat, and Follow the Footprints. In addition to that, the Way of Winter's map will also contain 30 scenic viewpoints. They say that if you happen to encounter a lonely camera while you are exploring, interact with it to obtain a scenic viewpoint reward and unlock the corresponding field guide entry. Then finally, in regards to exploration, they say that precious mystical crates can also be found inside of this new region, with 5 of them in each sub-region, so keep an eye out for those purple lights. We're obviously going to have a new story and tasks, but I'm going to skip over that for the sake of time, and we're going to move on into the temperature system. This is composed of 2 main factors, being temperature and resistance. Temperature is something that's affected by the region that you're in, the weather, the time of day, environment, while resistance is going to determine how much you can withstand those temperatures. Another thing that ties into the temperature is these thermal towers, which are huge structures that can alter the temperature and environment over a large range. You can see in this picture here that this thermal tower is set up in the middle of this giant encampment with a dozen or so houses circling it. I've got several videos out talking about this upcoming scenario, and in those videos, I keep pointing out how they are clearly trying to push the hive gameplay and the group guild gameplay, and I think this is another excellent example of how they're trying to do that. I'm curious as to if you can even manage to get one of these things up while working solo. It'll be interesting to see. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. But another thing that they're introducing in regards to the temperature is a dynamic weather system. They say that more weather types with various environmental effects are now available, with extreme weather conditions offering a more challenging survival experience. Moving on, let's talk about the Chaos Weaver events. These are gigantic living machines that you're going to have to hunt down and beat in order to get some of the loot. They do say that as the seasonal phases progress, these Chaos Weavers will become stronger and appear more frequently. Now that we kind of have the base laid down, let's go ahead and jump into the nitty-gritty here. Starting off with the fact that the Way of Winter is running a seasonal phase scenario again, meaning that this scenario will consist of 5 separate phases, with the first 4 phases being the main gameplay, and the last one being the filter people out of this scenario phase. For the sake of time, I'm just going to break down the phase names here. I do have a video out where I break down what's coming in each of these phases, but phase 1 is going to be called Arctic Domain, phase 2 is going to be called Scattered Ash, phase 3 is going to be called A Glimmer of Hope, and phase 4 is going to be called The End of Ice and Fire. There's also going to be new dungeons and a new monolith. However, they don't give us any information on this, but we do get this screenshot here of the new monolith boss, I'm assuming. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. So let's go ahead and move on into the new deviations. I do have a video where I speculate on these deviations, but now that we have the actual descriptions, let's go ahead and break them down, starting off with Tar Pudding, which is going to gather fuel around the territory and increase the fuel refining speed. Zap Cam is going to attach to your back, making it to where you are in scoped mode. It's going to lock onto a part of the enemy and deal damage. The Hydronaut Fish, when activated, it will gather seawater from outside your territory, occasionally yielding a fish. It's also going to increase production speed when assigned to a water filter or brewing barrel. The Invincible Sun is going to deal blaze damage. The Snow Sprite is going to continuously generate ice crystals near the target. They shatter when shot, dealing frost damage to nearby targets. Then we have the Ice Pot, which is going to produce ice blocks that have a magical adhesiveness. And then finally, we have Geizokyo, which is going to patrol your territory and attack suspicious targets. And that is about it for these patch notes. They do go over a bunch of the new stuff coming into the game, like the weapons, prize pools, and stuff like that. But I'm gonna save exploring that until we're actually inside of this scenario. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are still playing Once Human and if you're excited to try out another PvE scenario. But that's all I wanted to break down inside of this video. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm out.